ISWIS PM.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button, smash that share button, and continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what a cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
With me. Great afternoon to you wonderful people. Welcome to this Wednesday edition of I Said What I Said. We are live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. Each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Me, Herb Howard, and my esteemed co-host, this good brother over here, Tucson Warner. We get together with you and we discuss issues that are impacting the black community, how those issues impact us as individuals, but also how they impact us as a collective. And along with your help, we talk through many of these issues in hopes of finding the best solutions for how to overcome those things. What's up, Adrian? Shout out to my favorite ISWIS OG, man. Thank y'all so much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. As always, your input is valued. It is certainly appreciated. Anything you want to add to the conversation, feel free to leave it in the comments. We will read through as many of them as possible. We would kindly request that you share the conversation by clicking on that little arrow in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Please share it on your private page. Share it even within your private network. Anyone that you think would add value to or find value in this particular conversation, we welcome them to be a part of the discussion. It is our most sincere belief that the more like-minded individuals we can get to be a part of this conversation, the better the opportunity we have of finding the optimum solutions going forward. So please continue to share the conversation. Also, if you feel so inclined, you can contribute to the show by clicking on the little gold stars in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. We certainly appreciate each and every one of those. Again, this is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb Howard. His name is Tucson Warner Tou. What's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? I'm blessed and highly favored. How about yourself?
Man, ain't nothing to it, man. I'm feeling pretty good. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I was finna overshare. I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's it's at that point outside where it's illusion. There's an illusion that it looks nice outside, but it's not. It's still cool, but it's solid though. As long as it's sunny, I'm decent. It ain't too cold. I don't like to wear coats, right? So I very, very rarely ever wear a coat, and it ain't to the point where I have to put one on yet. So I'm all good.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of Chicago weather, right? You get to explore every season, man. I like wearing coats. I like vests and all that type of demos. Yeah, but it's nice enough to get out there on the bike today.
I low key was kind of expecting you to be on your bike today. I was like, I wonder if he gonna pull up on the bike just because it's sunny. It's still like 42 degrees outside, but that's kind of how you rock though.
Yeah, I was running late though. I would have pulled up on the bike, but I had some other stuff to do this morning. It pushed me back, and I ain't had time to jump on the bike yet. So plus my, this hip thing is going crazy at this point. But still, the bike is like comfortable for it, so it gives me a way to do a little bit of work without killing myself. You know what I mean? I was gonna jump on, but again, I was just late today.
Hey, so, man, I told you privately, but I want to shout you out, man, for the dope graphics that you coming through with for the whole What's in it for the Black People Media family, man. All the graphics have been dope as heck. I can't wait till all of them drop and people get to see the new designs that you've been coming up with. All of that shit is super, super dope. It's definitely valued and appreciated, man. You dope as fuck. And
well, that I am, my brother. That I am.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. We're trying to rebrand, or brand. I don't even want to say rebrand,
right.
But, Maze has a certain level of taste that we just going to have to, we got to grow him up a little bit, mature the brand a little bit.
He's different.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he's stuck in the 80s. You know what I mean? We're going to grow him up a little bit.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you for holding that down. I don't know if you got a chance to catch yesterday. In light of Mike Brown deciding to move on with the show Triggered, me, Maze, and Don stepped into that 11 o'clock space yesterday and started a show that we're going to call The Collective.
Oh, so it's going to be an actual show.
No, it's not going to be a show, right? The Collective is simply going to be whenever somebody else is doing somebody else's show. It's The Collective, right?
Whenever somebody got to fill in.
Yeah, it's The Collective, right? So the Collective is coming together to fill in that space. We collect whoever is around, and we fill it in. So that is going to be The Collective. Yesterday was the premiere of The Collective.
Oh, okay. Well, salute to The Collective.
It was like a 1 hour infomercial of Wiftable Media. It was like 1 hour of, damn, we good at this shit. Damn, we are so fucking, we just spent the hour just patting ourselves in the back. Like, you know what? We are fucking great. And everybody who listens to us is fucking great. And this is going to be the fucking greatest thing ever. It was 1 hour of that.
Definitely sounded just like that.
It was like that. It was like that. But it was deserved. I mean, we weren't lying. We weren't making shit up. You know, we were just giving people their flowers as they were deserved. I wanted to give you yours at the top of this show. But we did a whole lot of that for about 60 minutes yesterday, me, Don, and Maze.
Hey,
you're
man,
great.
whatever works.
No, you're great.
Whatever
no, you're
works.
great.
Whatever works, man. Whatever works. You know what I mean? The Collective. You know what I mean?
Then
collectively complimenting each other.
Then the brother Danny stopped through, man,
like
from
you, brother.
Legendary Channel Zero.
You trying to get like who, brother?
Get like you, brother. Ain't that what they say? Black people.
Oh.
I see you out here. I'm trying to get like you, brother.
If I had your hand, I'd cut mine out.
Right. If I cut mine out. I ain't never heard that. I always heard him say, if I had your hand, I'd throw mine in, like in reference to cards.
Oh, okay. Nah,
if I had your hand, I'd cut mine off.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard.
So I gotta yo, man.
But I don't like this new view. Maybe it's just I don't like change. I don't know. This is trash.
Yeah, you just slow the change. I kinda like it. Like it. Yeah, I like it. I got this uncle, man, and first of all, he's an idiot, right? Like the funniest dude I've ever met in my life. He's absolutely be a comedian. Now he's probably like 70-some years old, right? Mm-hmm. But a whole fool. I remember when I was a shorty, me, him, my brother Ron, we going to the store, right? I don't even remember what kind of store. We going to the store. We not in the store 10, 15 seconds. You hear the loudest scream you ever heard in your life. It's him, right? He throws his arm over the counter of the store. Oh, Ron, cut it off, cut it off. That's my brother now. He's like, Ron, cut it off, cut it off, cut it off. We like, what the fuck is he talking about, right? We're like, oh, what you talking about? Man, I give my right arm for that girl right there, man. Like, gee. I'm talking about yelling loud as hell, big ass. Everybody in there like, what the hell is going on? He like, man, I give my right arm for that girl right there, man. She couldn't do nothing but laugh. Everybody in there just dying laughing.
It worked. They got her attention.
Oh my God.
I salute it. I appreciate dedication, man. You got to go all the way in.
Man, the dude is a fool. A whole fool, man. That reminded me of that, but I ain't never heard nobody say that, man. Listen, man, I hope y'all feeling good on this here Wednesday. Happy hump day. Hope your week is going well. I don't know how y'all feeling about the impending shutdown. Well, I guess it's already shut down, but like I think you think it's gonna get like back to where like ain't shit moving? Maybe you could like go outside and you didn't really see nothing.
So I don't know. I talked to my son in Arizona the other day. She said they shut down yesterday, and that was strange because they was wide open when I was down there.
Yeah.
And now their season is in question, because the numbers are rising there again. He said he's in the highest county, and they're shutting down like the shopping centers and the shopping marts and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
There's been pushback from us shutting down though. A lot of the restaurants and stores said, I ain't with that shit. I'm not messing up my money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's a conversation that needs to be had because, we got to think about the economy in general. And it is beginning. It's not even beginning. This has affected all of our capital at some point. You know what I mean? And nobody's sending any aid. So how do you respond to that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Landlords want their money. The light bill want their money. I'm getting creditors calling me daily for different shit now. You know what I mean? So it's like, you got to deal with it. You know what I mean? So I've been blessed. I've been sliding because everybody else been sliding and I've been getting away with it. But at some point you got to start to, rectify those bills. And I don't know how we going to deal with that as a society or as a city, really.
I think we got to find some really creative ways to be, earners in this moment, right? Unless you got, fortunately, you got everything, all your affairs in order, and you got a career that's not really affected by this. Then great. But for a lot of people, I think you got to find really creative ways to become earners. And then the compounding issue is how you gonna earn in a community where nobody got shit. You know what I mean? Like even if you come up with a creative way to sell something or offer a service, who the fuck is buying it, right? Nobody is really You know what I'm saying? Finding those ways. So I think you got to find like really, really creative ways to become self-sustainable and self-sufficient in this time. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of ways to go about doing
that much creativity in the world, right? And that's part of the conversation that we've been having since the inception of this podcast, right? We don't, as a people, we don't really understand the gravity of government, right? And that's so interesting to me because the vast majority of our wealth is built through government. You know,
True.
I mean? We're not in the private sector. We represented by 2% in the private sector. Most of our jobs are government jobs. If you drive a bus, that's a government job. You know what I mean? If you deliver mail, that's a government job. The highest employer of black people in America is the post office. You know what I mean? Yeah. So for us to engage in government in the way we do and not having no full vast understanding of it has always been interesting to me, since that is where we grab all of our capital from. You know what I mean? And just like what you were just saying was like, you know, how do you make money creatively in an environment where there's no money to be made, you know, when there's no money at all. Right. And I just was listening to something earlier today, man, and they was talking about black wealth and home ownership. And it was like out of the 20 million black households in all of America, only like less than 5% of them are worth more than $350,000. Yeah. And that shit kind of blew my mind, because when you think about it in the context of this America, a $350,000 home, that ain't shit.
It surprises me that blows your mind for a couple of reasons. One, well, I guess not that reason when we talk about how much black home ownership is there, but just however much there is, only 5% are over. What was it, 350? Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too, because you know, just thinking about the homeowners I know, how many of those houses are valued at 350, and now you put those very same houses in another zip code, they could be worth more than 350, but because they're in that particular zip code, it's devalued as is, and so it's not really valued at 350. Like, it's different.
But in perspective, though, right? Yeah. So I got two cribs, right? One I live in, one is a rental property. Right. My rental property isn't valued at more than 100. It's like maybe 125, 130 or something like that. Now the home I live in is like right around in that 350 area. You know what I mean? But I don't consider myself. It's interesting, right? When you start seeing the real data, and then I qualify my life against the real data, and it disturbs the shit out of me.
He's like, where it's at?
Where it's at?
Right. If I got it, where it's at?
Where it's at, because I am in that top 1% of earners in the black community, and that shit disturbs me, because I just told you, creditors is calling me. You know what I mean? Which means I done left some shit unpaid. Right. You know what I mean? Right. So if I'm living like this, where the fuck are my peers? Right? Where the fuck are my elders? Where the fuck is the rest of our community if I'm in the top 1%? This shit is disheartening to me. Yeah. So maybe I shouldn't have been confused by that number. But every time I hear those kind of numbers, I'm like, this just can't be fucking real.
That reality has to smack us kind of all in the face. But then I think, you know, there are reasons in there, and there's evidence of it that, again, wouldn't make it quite as surprising. We got to take our first break. When we come back, I want to get into some of the reasons why that statistic is a fact, that less than 5% of black-owned houses are valued over $350,000. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard Tucson, I want to hear with you till 3 o'clock. We'll be right back.
Hey, Tou, I need some financial advising from you after this.
No, the fuck you don't.
He only heard half the part of the conversation.
We'll listen.
350. Not listening.
I'm sure you're going to
not listening. Go to commercial. Go to commercial.
WISTBPM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
We out west with it, where we live illegal. Leaning off a leader, riding regal, tipping scales like Libras. Inhale, no L's, pulling out blocks like Jenga. In the rear of a Caprices, Billy Grahams, feel decent nonetheless. Nothing less than 10s for the speakers. You'll hear us before you see us with beats that beat the streets up. Yeah. So try and keep up and keep it low key, cuz police try and treat us and keep us on a leash, cuz that's how they see us, thinking we nuts. Cuz we'll die for the ground beneath us, because this land made us. This land made of players that stay on paper. That's how we came up amongst the mayhem to the day when we display what we made of.
And we are back live from the What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said, Herb and Tou, so I want to here with you every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. Thank y'all so very, very much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. It's very, very interesting too. We say it all the time, man. No matter what we say, people are going to filter it through their own understanding and come out with their own meaning of what they just heard.
And Ron just proved that point.
Lil bro Ron Rilla is in the building. He is through the glass in the production studio. Presumably he's listening to this entire conversation. He heard everything you said and he came back and said, Tou,
I need some financial help.
Teach me how to get creditors on my line too.
Teach me how to not pay these bills.
God damn it, niggas get a right arm for $350. Don't matter what come after that. $350 is all he heard, people.
No, but the basic breakdown, Ron, is important though. The reason I got that other rental property is because I had parents that passed away early in life and they just left it to me, right? Now, you say okay, but what we don't understand in that context is that that's how the vast majority of wealth in America is obtained, right? So when you quantify that most of us don't own homes, our parents didn't own homes, we're not getting left anything. You understand what I'm saying? So when we start looking at white households and we start to understand like what it means to be black and a slave in America, where you don't get opportunities to be involved in the economic system of America, then you've lost generation after generation after generation after generation of being able to play. We always talk this dumbass shit about generational wealth, building generational wealth, right? But the problem with our mindset in talking about it, we don't understand the difference between wealth and income, and there's a difference. Right? So we've been left out of the wealth building capacity, and wealth is built in certain time pockets. It's not built all the time. It's built in certain pockets, right? These are part of the conversations that black people never seem to fucking engage in, right? And because we don't engage in those conversations, we don't really grasp and understand how the shit works.
No.
Wealth is built via government, and government gives you handouts or aids in certain time periods. So all the wealth in this country was built. Be clear, right? Before the Industrial Revolution, it was 1% of white folks who had all the capital, and the rest of y'all was like, fuck y'all too. That's it. Fuck y'all too, right? During the Industrial Revolution, white folks leveraged government to build wealth. They bought homes. Most of the wealth in America, in the middle class America, is built through home ownership. Problem is, they made black families a contagion of wealth, which is what Herb said. Right? So it's like your zip code dictates. So let's put in perspective. My parents' home, because it's in Inglewood, which if you from the crib, you know what Inglewood is, what that represents, right? Don't nobody want to fucking live in Inglewood. It's fucked up to say that, but it is what it is, right? But that same home in, let's say, I don't know, Bridgeport.
Sure.
This shit this in Inglewood, it ain't worth $100 today, but if it was in Bridgeport, that shit would be worth $600,000-$700,000. That's because that zip code dictates, and is based on our blackness, made this shit a contagion. It could have been built by the same fucking builder. Same design, same layout, same lot space, same all that shit. It won't be worth what it's worth in Bridgeport. And the only difference is white folks live here, black folks live here, right? So we've been made a contagion to wealth. Yeah. And we don't grasp that shit. So we do dumbass shit like vote for Kamala and say she's the motherfucking impetus of what it means to be in black life. That's like taking 100 fucking pennies, putting 5 over here to the side as these special ass 5, but the 95% ain't representative of our real experience. It's the 95 that's representative of our real experience.
But that's why the same thing happens when you mention anything about Barack and his economic impact on the black community during his tenure as president of the United States, right? The numbers tell you that black people lost a lot of money during his presidency. But you say something like that to black people because he's Barack Obama and what he represents as a symbol Then people push back. Don't you say nothing bad about him. I'm just telling you that how much wealth left the black, if you can call it wealth, left the black community while he was the president of the United States. And how much wealth went into these Fortune 500 companies, again, while he was the president of the United States. So, you know, if government is not creating opportunities, right, for wealth to flow into the black community, it's not going to. And then you see the everyday racistness and the prejudice. You see those types of things every single day. You had the video that was going around social media with the sister who married a white dude, and they was going to get their house appraised. And the first time they came around and appraised the house, he was there, she was there, pictures of the black kids were there, pictures of the black parents were there, and the house got appraised at a certain value. She thought it was because of her, had the house reappraised. She wasn't there. They took all the pictures down of the black babies and the black side of the family, only left his side of the family up. Same house appraised for $136,000 more than it did the first time. 40% increase from the first appraisal, right? So you gotta, like, that's just the reality of the situation that we're dealing with. Like that's kind of what it is. And if you understand that, and then you figure out how to work within it, or how to do something else.
You figure out how to survive within.
Yeah, survive.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I
So
say
what's solutions?
yeah, that's another problem, right? We always think about what's the solutions. Before we can get to any solution of a math problem, right, you got to first understand the math problem you're trying to understand, right? So if I know that 4 plus 4 is 8, I got to first know what the problem is. We don't understand the problem. We don't understand the gravity of the problem, which is why we come into conversations thinking about and talking about income rather than wealth, right? So the solution, like I gave a solution about voting today. There's only one solution. No, the solution is reparations. That's it. Because wealth is built via government, and we've been stolen from. It's a debt that's old. It's not like we can just jump back in the game 400 years behind and catch the fuck up, because the game is still moving.
Right.
The opponent is still playing. He's still putting points on the board.
Right.
So we're about to walk into the largest wealth transfer in the history of America. Mm-hmm. Like, that's including slavery. Mm-hmm. Like, that shit is about to happen in the next 10, 15 years. So all these white folks that build all this wealth over all these years in regards to home ownership about to pass this shit down to their children in the midst of a moment where we're losing wealth, right? We didn't expect this pandemic, but before the pandemic, it was slated by 2036 we was going to be flat broke. Now with this pandemic, I'm saying shit, that shit we flat broke. Yeah, like as a people, as a populace, right? So when you put that in perspective, and then you think about all this wealth that's going to trickle down to this young generation of white folks. The economy's not going to have to adjust for us. It's just going to leave you the fuck out, right? Because they're going to get a wealth transfer is going to still allow them to go buy $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 homes. So them home builders ain't going to lose no fucking money, because that's the way capitalism works. I want mine. You understand? So those who can't afford or can't have or can't grasp mine, your ass going to be sleeping under the viaduct with the rest of the people over there on 51st Street now. But we can't seem to grasp that concept. So when Kamala is running for office and she says, you know, I'm not going to do nothing specific for black people, the black people got to say, well, fuck you, bitch. Period. It's no other conversation. But we can't seem to grasp that because we enjoy the symbolism of a dark-skinned person that looks like us holding office. Barack Obama just came out with his goddamn book, The Promised Land. Promise to who? Promise to who? Everybody. Right? So here, I'm gonna quantify Barack Obama and Kamala Harris for you, and then explain to you why she isn't representative or why he isn't representative of either of us. Barack Obama got left $500,000 by his grandparents when they died. Liquid stocks, but that's liquid. That ain't land. That ain't home ownership. That's cash in your motherfucking pocket. Here's $500,000. Right now, I don't know when his grandparents passed, but let's say it was the 80s. Right. I'm just going to assume because he's an older cat.
Now you're talking about $1 million, 1.5.
Let's just say that's the 80s, though, right? We're in 2020, and I just told you less than 5% of our homes is worth $350,000. They gave that man $500 liquid, not their house. This is what they was sitting on. This ain't what they got invested in homes. This is what we had in our pockets. We ain't the same, fam.
It's different.
It ain't the same. Hawaii, Kansas is not Inglewood, fam. It ain't the same. Kamala Harris, born in the 60s. By the time she was a 12 or 13, she had like 12 stamps on her passport. Name another black person in America named Jackson or some shit that got a passport, let alone a stamp on it, in the 60s. Man, get the fuck out of here.
It's different.
These ain't our experiences, man. They're not the same.
They're different, but we champion them because it's about the hope, right? It's about the symbolism. It's about that American dream that continues to be pushed down. We talked about Barack Obama saying that Abraham Lincoln, he admires him as much as any American figure in history, right? Because of the way he was able to play both sides. It's the American dream. Everybody has opportunity. So let's not narrow the conversation down to what's good for black people. It ain't about black people. It's about everybody. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion on the other side of the break. This is I Said What I Said. Herb Howard Tucson Warner will be right back.
WISTVPM.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
Hey, are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Then stop by Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street this Thursday, November 19th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And don't forget, they're closed this Friday and next week for the holidays, but they'll be back open December 3rd and 4th. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy's street corn, and children's meals that come with a special prize. Visit sissystacobar.com for more info.
This is a traffic jam. Traffic jam. Traffic jam. Traffic jam. Traffic jam. Traffic jam. Traffic jam.
Welcome back. We are live from the beautiful What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. Listen, people, flyness is a choice. Robin Patrice is the home of the flyest handmade items, from natural soap and lotions, items that speak to you, jewelry, wickless candles, men's grooming items, and more. Flyness is a choice. So choose Robin Patrice, ROBBIN Patrice. They truly have something for everyone. Shop online at ROBBIN, RobinPatrice.com. That's Robin with 2 B's. Or follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Robin Patrice. That's again Robin with 2 B's. Get your fly on, man. Everything you need is right there. 2. You a lotion dude in the winter, or you be ashy? You be on that? You be trying to get back because you light skin?
No, I'm moisturized.
Hey man, sometimes you really catch me off guard with some of the things that you say, man. It'd be all this rah, masculine, beat the wall down. I moisturize.
Absolutely. Taking care of your skin is not a feminine.
I did that.
That's not a
Who said
feminine.
it was? Who said it was? Who said it was?
Yeah, skin will fuck you up. It's the first line of defense against disease.
Oh,
yeah, take care of your shit.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why you got skin, asshole.
That's why you got skin?
It's all scientific. That's all scientific.
To protect you from disease?
Yes, that's true.
Well, obviously, if you just walking around with your fucking blood and shit just out, that wouldn't be good. I don't know, man. I put on lotion where I'm exposed.
Yeah, I used to do that. I was young once too.
Like if I got on shorts, I put lotion on my legs. If I don't have on shorts, I probably didn't.
I
put
used to
lotion
do
on
that
my
when
legs.
I was, young and dumb. But now I take care of my whole body.
Now every time
Hey,
you got
let me tell you
the shower, you sit naked on the bed with the towel wrapped around you like this.
I do the whole thing. Nigga, I air dry all that shit. Yes, fuck
air
it.
drying is the shit.
Yeah,
I love the air dry.
Listen, your ass get old, G shit change.
No, I love air drying, man. Air drying is the shit.
You be waking up with bruises and scabs and shit. Like, how you even get that?
You get like your chest and shit and all that.
I do the whole. I'm luxurious with it. Yes.
Hey, I can see your ass sitting. That is funny.
Hey,
that is
skin
funny.
is an organ, goddammit. I'm taking care of mine. Fuck what you talking
Hey,
about.
I'm not mad at you, bro. I'm not mad at you. Moisturize, my brother.
Hey, I got to. But look, I want to. I'm trying to find this comment, man. I wanted to go through a quick comment. Here's one that I saw that I thought was interesting. It's from Alvin Norton. He says they might not want to live in Inglewood, but plenty of investors are buying up property in Inglewood. Most are outside Chicago, and that's absolutely true. And this is part of the conversation that we got. This is part of understanding of that problem, right? So think about it. Think about all the high schools that got closed down, like the 50 schools, the ROM closed down. I think 4 of those were in the Inglewood area, right? Now Inglewood, like if you're not in Chicago, here's some context of what Inglewood is. I think Inglewood is the largest neighborhood in the city of Chicago. I think the largest, right, population wise.
Sure. It's a million motherfuckers in Inglewood.
It's a lot of people in Inglewood. You know what I mean? But Inglewood is also like a high crime area.
You ever turned down one of them blocks late at night? It's like make a random
I used
left
to live
or right.
there. My mom and daddy live there.
Like
Yeah, so I used to
going
be
like you going
outside.
like 50 down like 55th, and you just bust it right down. Who the fuck knows what random block?
It's
And you be
Inglewood.
like, Wait
It's
a
still
minute.
Inglewood, right?
Why are there 200 people on this block?
Still Inglewood.
Like 200 people just outside, cars out,
Everywhere.
everybody up on the porch.
Fifi on the block.
And you're gonna get through this block as soon as they let you through this block.
When they feel like it.
Because what you're not finna pop off. You're not finna start
shouldn't.
blowing your horn
That
all the way
wouldn't
out.
be
You finna
smart.
sit there and hope like,
That
man,
wouldn't be smart.
You finna try to grab your little iron and hope nobody comes and bothers you.
But think about it, right? So over, I don't know, I can't say for how long, but let's say over my lifetime, right? They've been robbed of resources in Inglewood. You know what I mean? In any black community, and that's one of the things about Chicago, right? Chicago, I tell people all the time, is like the epicenter of black life in America. And I say that because one, Cook County has the largest population of black people in all of America. When I say black people, I mean ADOS, like American descendants of slaves. Like you're not gonna find in our neighborhoods the Haitian and the dude from the Caribbean living on the same block. We don't have that like, let's say, in New York or California.
No.
Every one of our ancestors is from Alabama, Tennessee. Like, it's the southern roots. That's it. You know what I mean? So, in essence, Chicago is like the epicenter of black life in America. And Chicago is the most segregated city in all of America.
Great people in Inglewood, Brian. Great people.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. I love black people all across the world. It is what it is.
Great people in Inglewood.
But it is what it is, just like I said, though. You know what I'm saying? But when you start looking at the math of Chicago and the way it's segregated, it's easy to strip those communities of resources, right? Because when they strip the black community of resources, that's all who's gonna suffer. It's only black people. Ain't no Hispanics in our community.
Right.
Ain't no white folks in our community. Right. And it's the same for every other community, right? If it's a Hispanic community, that's exactly what it is. It's a Hispanic community. If it's a white community, that's exactly what it is. It's a white community. So when it comes to our communities, that's exactly what it is. It's a black community. So when you strip resources from the disadvantaged, specifically us, we all see or reap the consequences of that, right? It's easy to do. It's not as easy to do, let's say, in Brooklyn, because it's ethnically you get all kind of shit on one block in Brooklyn. Ethnically, you get all kind of shit on one block in California. That's the argument I have against the LGBTQ community too. Like when you go in and vote and you start to understand the resources I really kind of broke down ethnically.
Right.
Who the fuck are you voting for?
Right.
There's no gay community in that way.
Yeah. No, and it's the same. Inglewood, ROW say Austin is the largest, and so
So Austin is same shit, right?
So
So if Austin is one,
Austin.
Inglewood might be 2 or 3. I was asking, I didn't really know.
Yeah, for sure.
But the same issues that occur in Austin are the same issues that occur in Inglewood. They the same shit, mathematically.
Same exact thing is happening, and it's double edged because you get the fact that the property values are devalued over there, right? But then you also get to the point where you realize that hold on, wait. Inglewood is in the middle of the third largest city in Chicago. We run that. We need that. South Shore sits right on a fucking Great Lake, the water, with 10-minute access to downtown. We need that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers don't go to the beach. We go to the beach. Give us that. It's golf courses up and down that motherfucker. Run that. You know what I'm saying? It's boat docks up and down that motherfucker. Y'all ain't got no boats. Run that. You know what I'm saying? So like that. Then so that now that the property values have been devalued so much, now we come in and get them for the low, and by the time we put half of coat panel on the wall, we flip the motherfuckers to $500,000 now. Now your ass can't be here. You know what I'm saying? Like if it weren't for the fact that the property values were devalued like they are in our communities, we probably wouldn't even have the amount of homes that we do have, right? My crib would be if I picked it up and took it somewhere else. I don't know what it'd be worth then, right? I know what it's worth in the middle of South Shore. You put that fucking same house in Beverly,
it already be worth more money. But that's a beautiful home. The home in Inglewood, I guess, is a beautiful home. Yeah. Bullshit ain't nothing. My house in Inglewood is better than the house I live in.
Really? I ain't never been there.
But it's not. It's worth a quarter of the price. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I can't convince my family to move to Inglewood because they're scared of Inglewood. Right. But if I could get them comfortable there, I would definitely much rather live in the house in Inglewood than the one I live in on the low end.
Yeah, I mean it's I don't know, man.
But that's part of the conversation as well, right? Think about that in context. You know what I mean? We, the residents of Inglewood, are running out of Inglewood. They're running out of Inglewood because of the violence. They're running out of Inglewood because of the access to just life. Like I just said, I didn't really finish the point, but they closed down those 4 high schools. They built one singular high school. That one singular high school wasn't even accepting students outside of, transitioning students from 8th grade to freshman year. So if you was in, I don't know, name one of the Inglewood High School. Right? If you was a sophomore at Inglewood High School before they closed it down, you can't come to the new rebuilt Inglewood High School. You got to find somewhere else to go. Right. Then you think about that level of segregation. And when we talk about segregation too, this is something we don't think about, especially outside of the context of Chicago. Chicago's not just segregated ethnically; it's segregated by class as well. Right. So just like you just mentioned, South Shore. Right. Most South Shore brothers don't deal with Inglewood brothers. Right. There's no intermingling. There's no mixing. True. Kids from Hyde Park don't cross the barriers of Hyde Park and go down the street west of Inglewood and hang out over there. It don't happen like that. Truth. You know what I mean? Kids from Inglewood usually ain't even seen the lake in most instances because they're not coming east. We are pretty much stapled and anchored into the communities in which we're stapled and anchored into. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now you start mixing those 4 high schools that got closed down, and you got to send those kids to those other schools. What you get? You have a problem. You get drill music. You have a problem. You got a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the gang culture, the lifestyle shifts, and the differences that we assume exist.
Dog, we talk about this all the time. There was a problem at my grammar school. There was a problem, right? That's because it's set on 73rd and Jeffrey, and the folks was on 71st, and the Stones was on 75th. Right? Everybody for where I'm from that's on 71st Street, they say I'm from 71st Street, right? 75th Street is 4 fucking blocks away. But I'm not from 75th Street. That is a whole different group of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? It's like 071, 075, 079. Like it's a different thing. We talking about 4 blocks away. Hell no, if I live at 200 East on Jeffrey, I don't know shit about what's popping at, 2000 East on Jeffrey. I don't know shit what's popping at 2000 West. You know what I'm saying?
2400 West. It's a whole different world.
On Damon, that's different. On Western, that's different. You know what I'm saying? It's some whole other things going on. I told you I married a woman from fucking Inglewood. Our experiences were different. You know what I'm saying? Similar, but different. One, it's a bunch of fucking houses in Inglewood. Fucked up as it is, bunch of fucking houses in Inglewood. When I grew up, where I grew up over east, bunch of fucking apartment buildings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just that it creates a different experience. It's a different experience. She talks to this day about every fucking family on that block. Now, they was all wild as hell and the stories be off the fucking meat rack, but everybody on the block. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
1,000 people lived on 69th and Paxton. You know what I'm saying? It's 10 big dumbass
transient.
You know
Nobody stays forever.
I don't know these motherfuckers. You
don't know them.
You know what I'm saying? They got on uniform that look like they probably go to Bryn Mawr. They got a uniform like they go to Parkside. They got a uniform like, okay, cool. Like but I don't know these motherfuckers.
It's not the same feel of community.
No, it's not.
It's not. Which is why over East is known for robberies.
Yes, because
you don't rob motherfuckers you know.
Right.
So Inglewood might have murders because you do murder motherfuckers you know.
Throw them in the hole, no problem.
Don't think about that from a crime element standpoint. Sure. Over East has always been known for robberies. Sure. Always. Because you will rob a motherfucker that you don't know. Sure. You ain't got to see them again.
Sure.
The murder shit is usually through some intimate relationship shit.
Yeah.
It's how it works.
You got to get rid of them in case you might see them again.
It's science, bro. Yeah. It's science. It's for real.
Yeah. It also created a element of community even within this fuck shit, right? So she was from a fucking gangster family too. Like her uncles and shit, aunties and shit, they bout that action, right? And so like, but they would come around and say, hey, yo, all the kids got to go in the house until we say otherwise.
As soon as they
go in the house, 15, 20 minutes later, I know wop is going up because they know what they just did. So they know what's about to happen over here or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So it created that community. You don't know, these ain't all your nieces and nephews over East. You don't know these motherfuckers. It's everybody. You know what I'm saying? So just keep your head on a swivel type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Always. Like over East was always interesting to me, man.
It was different. I remember my guy, one of my best friends growing up, man, pissed me off. He wasn't from over East though, but he was our guy, so he would be over there often enough. But we over there and messing around with some chick or whatever, and it gets late and it's time for her to go, right? And this ain't a good story to tell. this is not a good story.
Moving on.
Anyway, he wanted to go walking. He wanted to go walk a certain way that wasn't best for him to go walking that way. I'm like, bro, if you're gonna walk her like back to a bus stop, right? You need to take this way and then that way. Hell no, I was gonna take her straight down the 69th. You're not gonna walk straight down 69th because you're gonna hit Merle, you're gonna hit Clyde, you're gonna hit Chappelle, and you're gonna hit a bunch of foes that don't know you.
And it's gonna be a problem.
Okay, you're gonna hit a bunch. It's dark as fuck.
And I know the foes over east. They're a problem.
You're gonna hit a bunch of foes that don't know you, bro. You can't fucking do it. So I'm going. Now I'm pissed, right? Because I have to go now. I don't want to go. I don't want just go. Go the way I'm telling you to go. I don't want to go. Now I gotta fucking go. Sure enough, we fucking walk. We ain't 2 blocks from the crib. Motherfuckers look up. They see you coming. So you can see motherfuckers formulating to get on bullshit with you. They're just getting information to get on bullshit. Fortunately, I know all these motherfuckers. So once we get up and close enough, we cool enough. We ain't friends. We cool enough. You know what I'm saying? Yep. You know me.
I recognize his face.
We gonna keep it pushing. Bro, that would have been your ass. Like, you can't listen sometimes, you fucking piece of shit. No, I didn't want to come out here.
I done had issues over East. I done had to pull it a few times over East.
Yeah, it's different.
But man, it's a different culture. I wanted to read this other comment as well, man. I just lost it just because I was saying that. But I think it came from Adrian Anderson. And there was a comment about what do we do in the meantime before we get to reparations. I want to read it verbatim, but I don't know if I'll be able to find it. But it was something saying, you know, what do we do in the meantime if we don't get reparations? Like, what's the solution right now? And I think, I don't know what the solution is right now, right? And I say that because this is a conversation I've been having for the last, forever really, but over the last month, I've been looking at it from the standpoint of how do we inundate the psyche of black people? And I don't have that answer. And I say that because the what for me is apparent. The what is reparations. Mm-hmm. The how, and how do we get us to understand that reparations, one, isn't an ask, it's a debt, it's an O, right? And one, to do whatever it takes to get to that O, because that is the answer. So when we start talking about the election around Kamala Harris, and I will never accredit this to like my brain. This is not me coming up with this shit. These are some brilliant people that came up with this shit, and I just fall in line with it. I just understand it, and I believe it. But you know, when we start talking about, and I was talking about voting down ballot the entire time Kamala was on the ticket, right? And I was saying that she's not black in the construct of what it means to be black American, what it means to be American descendants of slavery. Right. So, you know, you push that out there and then you get that backlash. Like, what you mean she's not black? She is black. She is black in the world diaspora conversation of blackness. Sure. Right? But there's a different thing to be of the slave origin, to be of that lineage, right?
Have a shared experience with us.
Yeah, because that lineage is the one that's suffering here in the American soil. So when you start to break down the numbers in regards to like ethnic groups, like Indians, because we're going to talk about Kamala, they very high on the economic scale in America. You know, even when you start talking about Africans per se, if you want to throw Barack in the conversation, they're very high on the economic scale in America. Now, what's happening in their, you know, respective countries in Africa, I can't speak to that shit. But over here, and if you made it over here, you got it. Right. You holding. You know what I'm saying?
When you got here.
When you got here, you holding. You know what I mean? You start looking at degrees, like rates of college graduation. Nigerians is something like 70-some%.
Yeah, but they lump that in black. So Harvard.
So that pushes our numbers up. But our numbers ain't like that. Our numbers is like less than 20%. It's like we're not living the same experience.
We got to take a break. When we come back from break, I want to talk about some of the things that could get us to a space where we can kind of understand that shared experience and start to draw on it to get some of the desired results. But sometimes when we see that, when we see somebody really standing on that and being their fullest self, somebody like what's LeVar Ball? He's LeVar Ball, right? Like LeVar Ball, the father of Alonzo Ball and LaMelo Ball, is probably going to go 1 or 2 in the NBA draft tonight. We kind of shun that type of personality, that type of bullish determination to be what you think you were put here to be. This is I Said What I Said. My name is Herb. His name is Tou. We were put here to talk to you. We'll be right back.
WISTVPM.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what?
We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button. Smash that share button. And continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
Notice the Entourage DJs are taking over the game. The Midwest invasion is here, and the true Midwest mixtape king is giving it to you. It's DJ G Spot banging your mixtapes right now.
You are now listening to the Myth Mixtape. DJ G Spot and Mick Lou, Chi-Town's finest. It's definitely representing Southside, Westside, stand up.
Yeah. They honor my persona, see my coat of arms, cloaked in armor, live and die by the code of honor. The honorable, known as Mick the Conqueror. My mantra is that of a monster. My vengeance is endless until you extinct like a condor. What you think I was armed for? I'm knocking at harm's door. Molded by the force, call me the Black Mamba. I'm putting up numbers like Kobe in the garden. My thoughts is thoughtless as I talk shit and there's nothing.
Welcome back. This is I Said What I Said. We are live from the beautiful What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. Thank y'all so much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. If you have not done so, please take a quick moment to share the conversation. Click on that little arrow in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Let somebody know that we're having a conversation that is about liberation. We want their input. We want their opinion on it. Appreciate y'all giving y'all opinions on it as well. Y'all are absolutely hilarious sometimes in the comments, but y'all be dropping some real stuff too. Adrian says, my family and I moved to Dalton when it was all white. It switched to basically middle-class families and was a nice area. Things changed around the late 90s. Some of my family is still there. I got the hell out because the neighborhood changed. Like, should be happening quick.
But also, it's math attached to that, right? Mm-hmm. Them white families moved out of there because you being there cheapened the value of their property.
Yeah.
You being black, your family being black, is a contagion to wealth. Yeah. Just you showing up fucks up the bread.
Get away.
Since you showed up, my money fucked up.
Yeah.
It's a smart business investment for any white person to get the fuck away when we show up.
Or buy you out like they did in Raising the Sun. They came to offer them the money.
Get the fuck out of here.
Y'all don't want this house. We'll pay y'all to stay over there.
Get the fuck out of here, because you fucking up
more bread.
Property
take
value.
This just bread
being here. I don't care how well you take care of your house. I don't care. You cut your grass. Get the fuck away from me.
Don't matter. Gino said I saw it all as well. So I used to be on 154th and Dykeman all the time from 90 to 94. Went back out there with one of the guys on Berg Street in like 03, 07. Whoa.
Whole different world.
Different.
Right. Because once you show up, the money stops showing up.
Yeah.
Because you are a contagion to wealth.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing else is cracking now that you're here.
Right. So, even in the context of us not getting reparations, if back to the Adrian Anderson point, if we don't get the reparations, then we got to change our value set. Mm-hmm. And I mean that in the sense that we got to start valuing something other than capital. Mm-hmm. Right. We got to have something at the front of our life that's not capital. Mm-hmm. Right. So that investment in educating our children has to be a labor of love, rather than I'm gonna get paid to be no teacher. Mm-hmm. Right. That investment in fixing your garage or doing home repairs has to be a labor of love for the person with that skill set, whether than I'm gonna get paid for it. Right. And that sounds insane, but that's the only way this community survives. And it sounds insane because our whole mindset has been shaped by this kind of concept of capitalism.
Yeah.
And if we ain't getting paid for it, fuck it. We have this very transactional view of life in general.
But there are many other forms of transaction. Like you can pay for things in a lot of different ways, right? Whether you talk about barter systems or you're talking about time as money, right? There are communities that actually use time as money, right? As an actual form of currency, where say I have 10 hours of time, right? And there are apps for it and all that shit. I got 10 hours of time. I give you 2 hours of, or you pay me 2 hours of time to come babysit, right? Now I get the 2 hours of time. You paid me that to babysit. Now I can then use an hour of time to go say get my haircut, and I give my barber an hour of time for a haircut. The barber can he has an hour of time. He uses the hour of time to get his brakes changed.
It's working cohesively for a group goal, G.
Yeah, everybody kind of using what you have. Right?
I want to have children that are healthy, happy, and successful, whatever that means. Right. In order for me to do that, then what do I have to have? I have to have a safe neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I have to be able to feed them. Mm-hmm. I have to be able to educate them. Now, if that comes at a cost, right? I just did the breakdown, the basic breakdown of my own little math income, the income that I'm dealing with, right? And it sits at the top 1% of black people, right? But even though I live in this home, quote unquote, this in the area, the aspirational area of black people, I ain't sending my goddamn kids in them schools over there. You out your goddamn mind. My kids can't go there. Right? So what's that do? It forces me to pay another cost to send their asses to school. Right? My children, this is how insane that shit is, right? So when we start thinking about Chicago, again, Hyde Park is the most diverse area in all of Chicago. Right? It's the most ethnically and class diverse area in all of Chicago. And that's factual. I ain't even got to double check on that shit. That's factual. But the dividing line or the border of Hyde Park is Cottage Grove. You cross Cottage Grove, you get into Washington Park. Right? Now there's 5 or 6 level 1 grammar schools in Hyde Park. Every one of them grammar schools is walking distance for my child. You understand? The school that's related to our neighborhood is not really walking distance for my child. She can't apply to none of them schools beyond that barrier. She would have to go further to go to this worst school. Right. That shit is a reflection of how government controls and distributes resources. Right? And since because we on that other side of that border, I've had to either one pay a tuition or figured out creative ways to lie about where my child lives. You know what I mean? This shit is insane, man. But we don't pay attention to government in that way.
It's sanctioned poverty, bro.
It is.
It's sanctioned poverty. It's sanctioned miseducation. It is all sanctioned by the government. They use all their powers to, whether you're talking about redlining or redistricting and zoning, like all of that, right? You got to stay out, fam. There is an invisible fence around. This ain't for you, right? And that's just kind of how it is. We got to understand that. And I think that if we can understand that, it should then cause us to play the game differently, right? And I look at somebody like a LeVar Ball, who is the father of Lonzo Ball, who's a young point guard in the NBA right now. Then he's got 2 other little brothers. One named LaMelo Ball, who is probably going to be the number 1 or number 2 pick in the NBA draft tonight. LeVar Ball, the father, is quite the character. I'm sure most of y'all are probably familiar with this dude. If not, he's like one of those extreme dads. He's known since his boys were born that they were going to the NBA. And that's all he focused on them doing, was getting them to the NBA. He provided the environment and the resources necessary for them to actually go ahead and achieve that. And 2 of them at least will have realized that dream by the end of the night. The other one, LiAngelo Ball, is probably going to play in the NBA as well. But he's difficult personality, right? For all the money in the world, he tell you that he was better than Michael Jordan. He can beat Michael Jordan and all this other crazy stuff that he talks. He's real cocky and arrogant. But I think that it's a confidence that just comes with knowing that we've prepared for this moment. And when the time came for his oldest son, Alonzo, who went to the draft first, to sign like a deal with like Nike or Jordan and all that, father said, no, we got our own brand. It's called Big Baller Brand, right? And the Big Baller Brand, whatever, people thought it would fail, right? They expect people to say, oh, you got to go Nike, you got to go Adidas, you got to go Jordan. And so people are like, that's stupid. That's just not going to work. And then they were right? For by and large, they were right. But he came out with a different plan. He said, well, okay, y'all don't think I can sell 1 million shoes? Fine, I won't sell 1 million shoes. I'll make these shoes. I think they were like $400, right? And so now just a few people buy them. Now I'm cool with it. And that's a plan we've seen work before. I remember Nipsey Hussle talking about selling his album for $100, right?
It worked.
Yeah, it worked. And Jay-Z even bought like 1,000 of them, right? And so, that type of stuff can work for you. But my point is that black people as a whole was like, this LeVar Ball dude crazy. Nobody's fucking with that shit. Nobody's buying no Big Baller Brand t-shirts and shoes. Nobody wants that shit. It's ugly, and I don't really like dude, right? I get it. But I think that we need to be a little bit more bullish in that way about who we are, as opposed to saying, okay, regardless of what, my shorty put in 20 years of work, he's definitely about to go make Phil Knight another $1 billion at Nike.
So I got a very different perspective though, right? And this gets into the context of what does it mean to be black in America. I fuck with LeVar Ball. I've been fucking with LeVar Ball since day one.
But as a whole, we don't.
But here's the thing though, right? He looks like some shit that we not used to seeing. He looks like a motherfucking man.
Like, fuck you.
Fuck you. I know what I got over here, and fuck you. Fuck you. I'm playing by my rules.
I talk loud. I say what I want.
That's how the fuck I feel today.
Right.
And fuck you. And at every stance, he's proven to be right. Right now, we could say Big Baller Brand didn't amass the kind of residuals that Nike amassed, but who the fuck else has?
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Nike is the
Nike
premier.
is Nike.
It's Nike,
right?
It's Nike. We cannot get away from that.
It's like that's a burger not being McDonald's.
But also what we can't get away from is that Big Baller Brand has amassed several $1 million in sales.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we can laugh and talk all that shit about him being a failure, but then you look at all the black companies that you know of and tell me how many of them motherfuckers amassed $1 million of sales. Get the fuck out of here. He's a huge success in the context of what's successful in our community when I say that we are a contagion of wealth.
There's another example that I want to give that I think a lot of people, most educated people or people in the know, will give him his props. But even amongst the group of people who give him his props, I think a lot of people still look at Master P like he's some type of clown, right? Like he's some type of bootleg entrepreneur, bootleg businessman that he's not really to be mentioned on the same level of any white person who has amassed either equal or in many cases less.
But this is when I also say we got to change our value system, right? Back to the Big Baller Brand. I remember specifically, right? LeBron coming out and laughing at that shit. I remember specifically LeBron coming out and laughing at that shit. Now LeBron is the motherfucking voice of black people in the NBA. Eat a dick, fam.
We gotta take.
You can't be the same motherfucker.
Go.
You can't be.
Go.
Eat a fucking dick. You a clown, and we clowns for let those kind of clowns be our leadership class. Eat a dick. You laugh at LeVar while you hold Nike's dick, then you come out and say, Milwaukee, you're making a bad move for us to say we're going to boycott the NBA, and our dumb asses jump behind them. Or Jay-Z saying, hey, I'm going to negotiate the deal with the NFL, and our dumb asses jump behind them. These are the same motherfuckers that laugh at a LeVar Ball. You cannot be the representation of me. You are a fucking coward. Period. Exclamation point. Period.
He said what he said. LeBron, eat a dick. We'll be right back after this.
WIFTBPM.
Maze Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Jukathon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart.
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, that not that far.
All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't. You don't like that? Yeah. I don't like that.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right. Every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Hey, are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Then stop by Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street this Thursday, November 19th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And don't forget, they're closed this Friday and next week for the holidays, but they'll be back open December 3rd and 4th. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy's street corn, and children's meals that come with a special prize. Visit sissystacobar.com for more info.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Week events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Week members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers, Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button. Smash that share button. And continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
That's why we shine wherever we go. 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 Lord, Lord. Welcome to the mind of a pothead. On my head, see a young nigga got dressed. We don't give a fuck what the cop said. I'm living a legacy. So even when I die, I am not dead. Nigga, I am not dead. Fuck with me.
And we are back from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. My name is Herb Howard, alongside my esteemed co-host. His name is Toussaint Warner. Thank y'all so very, very much for tuning in to this Wednesday edition of I Said What I Said. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. We say shit, we mean shit, we stand on shit. Even if we're talking to LeBron.
Fuck him.
Fuck him. No, in that context, I'm with you 100%, man, right? But most people are going to come out and they're going to say, well, Nike offered me $90 million. I'm rolling with Nike right now, as opposed to building my own thing up from scratch, right? You think about Jordan. When Jordan signed with Nike, Nike's own projections were that he would sell, damn, I forgot what it was. It was like 30,000 shoes, something like that, right? It was just in the documentary they did. He blew all those projections out of the water. Now imagine if they didn't have that high expectations for you in the first place, then you could have said, hell, I can sell 30,000 Michael Jordan Jordans, not Nike Jordans. You know what I'm saying? And you still would have blew expectations out the water.
James Jordan told Michael Jordan not to sign the deal.
Yeah, because James Jordan was a real nigga.
Yeah. But again, it's like what we aspire to, right? And that's what I've been saying for a long time. We aspire to white wealth. We aspire to be like white people, right? And we don't say that openly because it sounds one way when you say I aspire to be a white person, right? But when you quantify it and say I aspire to be wealthy, well, 98% of the wealth in America is in the hands of white folks. And what we want to do with our wealth is mimic what white people do with their wealth. So in essence, what you really want to be when you get to the core of it is dark-skinned white folks.
Yeah.
Chocolate-covered white people.
And they trick you with these deals. And so it ain't so much about what's black and white on the paper, right? It's the fact that, oh, shit, they sent the limousine to my crib to take me to the airport to pick me up, right? I get to the airport, and I'm pulling up on the runway, right? Because Phil Knight sent his private jet to come pick me up. Then they fly this private jet out, and now I'm on the campus at Nike, and it's the dopest thing I've ever seen. Then there's the cocktail reception later on at his crib, and it's the most bizarre bananas crib I've ever seen. I can't believe this is somebody's house. And so after I get on with all this, whatever number on the paper don't even matter. It's the private jet. It's the campus at Nike. It's this fucking $1 billion estate this fucking multi-million-dollar estate that I'm looking at right now. Right? It's like all of that shit. Now I want all of that, and you must be the person that can get it for me.
It's things, man. It's what America does, right? It sells you. That's why marketing is so valuable, right? So we attach, most of us, and whether we say this openly or not, it rings true, which is why the American economy keeps growing. Is because we attach our happiness to things, Right?
Sure.
So as long as our happiness is attached to things, we will always be strivers, striving for new things. And you never reach the end goal, right? Because we have a misconception, and this is why I always say it's a juxtaposition of politics and spirituality, right? The politics is what we got to deal with in regards to like the tangible assets of life in America, right? We got to deal with politics to get our just due, hence reparations. Right. And for me, reparations does not become a healing method. What reparation is a Band-Aid for us to help achieve healing. Right. Because what reparations does is stabilizes us in a way that we're not fighting for our very survival.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And in not fighting for your very survival, you can start to address these kind of spiritual needs that our community is so lacking. Right. But the real essence of real healing is spiritual. Right, because what happens in this transactional capitalist corrupt society is it makes our whole existence based on transactions. So everything's a negotiation, right? And you're not going to find happiness in a negotiation because that's what a negotiation is. It's a negotiation. Nobody fucking wins.
Right.
I'm gonna get something, and you gonna get something.
I gotta give up something, right?
You know what I mean? But the real goal of this journey of life is to be whole and happy, and that's a spiritual conversation.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to dig internally to find those answers.
It's hard to find them though when everybody's drowning, right? So everybody's in the water and they just literally fighting for their very survival. And if I'm holding on to a piece of a plank in the middle of the ocean, then you trying to come holding, you're gonna get the fuck out of here, right? So you create this environment where people are fighting each other, or if a couple of fish happen to come swimming by, nigga, that's my fish. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of thing. Versus now, reparations comes along. Now everybody has a boat. It ain't the fucking yachts that's been going past us, ignoring us at all fucking costs, right? It ain't those. It might be a motherfucking paddle boat. But at least now we're all in the boat, and that boat is equipped with enough for me to be able to eat and sustain myself. Now I can actually look around like, oh, you know what? You're not as bad as the motherfuckers I thought you was in the water, right? When we was fighting to hold on to that one piece of plank, right? You're not. I can see you as a human being now. Now we can talk about this thing. Now we can get this thing fixed from the inside. Now we can start to move these boats together. Now we can start to get to a place where we can build our own fucking boats, right? And have our own things that go past, because while we've been in this water fighting for it, anytime we even got close to other people who were holding on to a bigger plane, like, get the fuck away from here, right? If y'all over here, the big boats ain't gonna come. So devalue the property, just like we talk about moving out to Dalton and shit. Like, nah, y'all, if y'all here, the big boats ain't coming. So now I gotta go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta get the fuck from around me. If we can get our own boats, right? Small as they may be to start with, it gives us a fighting chance to be able to heal all the other things that prevents us from being able to build our own yachts.
Again, I think it's a switch in perspective, right? Let's think about the top wealth earners that we can identify. Because you can't identify most of the motherfuckers. You don't even know who they are.
Hell no. They walk right past you.
But the ones that we can identify, just from the visible representation of them, I would ask our community, do you see happiness in any of these motherfuckers? Do you see happiness in any of the moves they make?
No, you
right?
see a
lot,
in a lot
of ways what we
going
strive for. Somebody in here just said Trump is LeVar Ball is the black version of Trump, right? And I'm gonna say this, in some ways I could agree with you, right? Because what LeVar Ball represents,
gumption,
and that's some man shit, which is why Trump is appealing to so many motherfucking people, because he's saying this is what I'm on, and fuck you
if you ain't,
fuck you. So in a lot of ways, I agree. It is a representation in a very similar light. But getting back to this wealth construct of understanding like why we aspire to the shit versus what we internally need, right? So you could look at documentaries from starving countries, and you will see children happy and laughing and playing. Because even though they don't have no fucking resources, at some level there's a level of spirituality that's happening where they know that they are loved and taken care of. Right? I can't think of the African tribe where the greeting was, how are the children? You know what I mean? I can't think of that tribe, but that is the essence of humanity.
Yeah.
How are the children? Because if the children are doing well, then as a society, we are doing well.
That is the prevailing question.
We flip that shit on its head and say, in comparison to them, in comparison to those people, Parkway is a motherfucking epicenter of wealth. Parkway Gardens is an epicenter of wealth in comparison to a motherfucker who don't eat every day. Right? How are the children in Parkway, goddammit? Ask yourself that. Right. Those are questions we got to start asking ourselves.
We got to continue to work until the
and that's just
legitimate
a matter
answer
of
can be
perspective.
all the children are well. Until we can answer all the children are well, we got fucking work to do.
But it's a matter of perspective, right? So even, man, I grew up poor. Fuck, ain't no confusion about it.
Yeah, but that ain't well.
Right? But understand
wealth
this.
And well ain't necessarily the same thing.
They're not. They're not synonymous.
No.
They're not.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
Matter of fact, I think I told Herb this. I didn't even recognize I was poor until I met my white family.
Nah. How could you know?
I didn't even. This was where everybody in my environment. This is everybody's experience.
I didn't know I was poor. I had J's. I had a PlayStation. I ate. Who poor? Not me, motherfucker. I can buy a butter cookie at lunch. You got me fucked up.
And I'd ask, like, how many of us even know wealthy people, right?
Right.
And if you really know wealthy people, like wealthy people, right?
Yeah.
And if you get to around them and get into their environment and get to see how they live, at least in my experience, it's some shit that I want to avoid. It's every time I'm around it, it feels false.
Yeah, it's different. It's a different experience. My brother, really good.
The Maasai tribe. I'm sorry, that's how the chick.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Thanks, goddess.
Really good basketball player. My brother was right. So his AAU team had good players from all over. Right. Some of them were white. It's one particular white family. Super dope people. Very, very generous. Very, very rich. Right. First time I got to the house, like, oh,
it's different.
This is shit. Like people like how like you see like I wonder who the fuck lives there. Oh, you live there.
This do exist.
This is like y'all live here. Okay, cool. Different. Like just everything was fucking different. Walk in the kitchen, you can't find the refrigerator because it looks just like the fucking cabinets. Right? You just pull it. Oh, this is the refrigerator. I can't find the garbage because it looks just like the fucking cabinets. Just random shit like that. I'm like, damn, this is different as hell. I spent the summer with them. Right? I don't remember why. Me and one of their sons was cool. They had 4 sons. One of them was my age. So we would always hang out at the AAU games and shit like that. Spent the summer out there. It's different as fuck. Like the whole entire thing was different. Whether it was just me going out to hang with his friends around that motherfucking neighborhood and they thought it was like I was like a fucking something that was coming to the museum for a few weeks. Like, oh, let's go to the museum and see that while it's here.
A novelty.
You know what I'm saying? It was just kind of different in that way. But even the in-home experience was different. Like it was like, oh, this is different. Y'all curse a lot in front of y'all parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just regular shit. They weren't disrespectful. It was a loving household, but it was just different. Like, oh, this ain't the same.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to paint no broad picture with no one brush. You get all different kind of shit out of all different kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
But in my experience, when I'm around wealth, the shit is uncomfortable because they're uncomfortable. And they're uncomfortable with themselves and they're uncomfortable with the people around them because they value the wealth more than they value the relationships. And they question whether the people around them are there for their wealth or they're there for the genuine being in their presence. Genuine, if they're just genuinely interested in being around them.
Yeah,
I've never seen a comfortable, wealthy person.
It's I don't know. I just know that when like the first while I was there, we go to the store and shit, and they like these they like to wear like college t-shirts and shorts and all that kind of shit. So it was like a store in the town that was like that. So we go to the store, like, yeah, pick out something. I was like, well, I'm cool. I don't really want shit. I'm confused, right? I don't really want shit. He's like, no, get something. So like I grab like a North Carolina t-shirt, right? Like, cool. Then my boy, so he comes back. He's got like
going hard as a paint.
He's got like 8 pair of shorts, 12 t-shirts, 4 caps. He's like, this all you want? Yeah, I'm not getting 8 pair of shorts and this motherfucker. Like, nah, I'm good. It was different. It was just weird. Like, so I was like, okay, I guess I'll get one more.
So
thing.
Mimi says there's a difference between rich and wealthy, and I agree.
Sure,
100%. Right? And I think it's all perspective because the numbers they're infinite and they never end.
Chris Rock, I'm not talking about rich. I'm talking about wealthy.
Right.
Shaquille O'Neal is rich. White man that signs his check, wealthy.
Shaquille O'Neal is rich in context to Chris Rock.
Right.
But in context to 70% of black households, Shaquille O'Neal is wealthy.
Wealthy.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's fucked.
Now, Shaquille O'Neal could go sit down with I don't know, one of the Rockefellers, and he'd look like a trash man.
If Bill Gates was
infinite
in that same comedy special, I'm pretty sure is when Chris Rock said if Bill Gates woke up tomorrow with Oprah Winfrey money, he'd jump out a fucking window. Like nah, it's levels to this shit. It's levels to it.
Yeah, it's numbers are infinite, right? Yeah. So it doesn't stop.
This clock got to stop. We got to take a break, man. When we come back, I want to get into some more of the comments and read through some of the things that you guys are saying in regards to wealth, how it calcifies in this country, what it means for us, how do we find a new way of viewing it and pursuing it and then using it. This is I Say What I Say. My name is Herb. His name is Tou. We'll be right back.
WIFTBPM.
Hey, are you ready for some authentic, delicious street tacos on the south side of Chicago? Then stop by Sissy's Taco Bar pop-up at 312 East 75th Street this Thursday, November 19th from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And don't forget, they're closed this Friday and next week for the holidays, but they'll be back open December 3rd and 4th. Experience their jerk chicken, sriracha shrimp, and blackened salmon tacos. And don't forget to ask about their Rome walking taco, Sissy's street corn, and children's meals that come with a special prize. Visit sissystacobar.com for more info.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
We are back. We are live from the artistic, beautiful, and colorful What's in it for the Black People Media Studios. This is I Said What I Said. Thank y'all so much for choosing to be a part of the conversation. We are fully aware that you could be doing absolutely nothing right now, yet you are here hanging out with us. We are appreciative of that. Thank each and every one of you guys for being here. It means a whole lot to us. We do not take it for granted. Shout out to everybody that's actually out there supporting RO Double. Robin Patrice is making sales in the comments, and I love it. That is what it is about, people. Salute, support. Make sure y'all getting out there and support. While you are supporting black business, food, culture, impact, What's in it for the Black People Media is proud to support the Woodline. It is located at 1200 East 79th Street, and it is an innovative economic center for the entire family. Stop by and try their delicious jerk-inspired menu, plus get details on their new Igloo dining experience. It is a restaurant, event space, and cultural space. For more information about reservations and their COVID-19 friendly space, visit them online at www.thewoodline1200.com, www.thewoodline1200.com. Y'all got to get over to the Woodline and check it out. When y'all get over there, tell Donnell and the whole staff What's in it for the Black People Media sent you.
Salute. So look, man, there's a lot of comments coming through, and they're saying, I like being around wealth. I want to be around wealth. And I want to add some context because there's nuance in the conversation. Right, we are in America. To avoid the fact that you got to make capital would be foolish. This is what America is, right? But I want us to envision a world where it is not our God.
Right.
There's a reason why in God we trust is on every dollar, because if you really honest with yourself, that is your God.
100%.
That's your God.
100%.
He dictates how you move. He dictates what you think, and he dictates what you value.
Yeah.
But that is not our God, and it shouldn't be our God.
No. If you woke up in the morning, spent some real time in prayer, and genuinely heard the voice of God tell you, the voice of God within you say, hey, fuck that job, we got something else to do. Your ass is gonna be like, God, you tweaking. Okay? I gotta go get this dough. Like, let's just keep it a buck, right? And then we talk about this spirituality and this connection, and I pray every day and all that, and all my blessings flow from. You don't believe that, fam. You don't really believe that all your blessings flow from God, right? Because again, if you had that in those private moments when you hear God tell you to move differently than you have been moving, if you don't personally see how that can work for you financially, you ain't moving. All that walk by faith and not by sight, bullshit. Sounds amazing until that voice tells you to walk away from this bag that you can see with faith that this bag you can't see is going to be on the other side.
But that's why it's a nuanced
Stay right here.
Conversation, right? And I think, again, just like when we was talking about the beginning of the conversation, when I said I had X, Y, Z amount of houses, and I said the bill collector called, and then Ron chimed in and said, hey, man, teach me some motherfucking financial advice. Mm-hmm. It's nuance here, right? And we don't grasp the nuance in the conversation. It's nuance, and nuance is important, right? I'm not saying don't have aspirations. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
What I'm saying is don't make that your guidepost.
Right.
It cannot. It's just a tool. That's all it is a tool, right? That's all it is a tool, and we've been confused about it. And even the way we look at the tool is wrong, right? Those who really have economic power in this country don't look at the fucking dollars as anything. They look at the resources that they own behind those dollars. Like there's I would employ everybody to go watch this documentary called The 5 Men That Built America, right? I'm talking about motherfuckers who own steel. You understand me? Like, that's a different kind of a conversation. I own wood. Like, think about that shit. Like wood, I own that shit.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So we talking about motherfuckers who had a good idea for one thing and they made $2. These motherfuckers own steel.
Right.
This motherfucker owns wood.
Right.
This, you know what I mean? Like, this is a different context.
It's different.
Right? But when you start to understand those 5 men who built America, those 5 men who built America also shaped American government. You know why they shaped the American government? Because they had more money than the American government, and they started to make a plan to that's where the IRS comes from those 5 men who built America. The IRS is a separate entity than the fucking American government. It's like paying Burger King taxes because they on your fucking block. They don't have nothing to do with the American government.
No.
But because they have more money than the American government, they could dictate and shape the way the government flow. It is what it is, but we don't understand in context what that is. So this is, if we look at capitalism as the ocean, motherfucker, we all on life rafts in the middle of the ocean. You got to swim. And swimming is getting to some capital. You got to, right? But again, because we have been left out of the fold of capital, because we are a contagion to wealth, this is factual. This is not up for questioning. This is factual. When we didn't have 5-10 people chime in and say, yeah, when I moved to Dalton, all the white people left.
Right.
And then look at it 10 years later. And then look at it 10 years after that. Right? I got family members who moved to South Holland even before I had the understanding or the data information to contextually explain this. I know when they first moved out there, River Oaks was popping.
Oh, yeah.
I know when they first moved out there was a movie theater. There was eateries. There was everything. I know 20 years later, after one generation, you can't do shit out there. There's no access to wealth. There's no growth there. Because when the white folks left and the black folks came, all the investments leave. Because you are a contagion to wealth. That don't mean that Mr. Johnson's a contagion to wealth. It don't mean that black people in Indiana's a contagion to wealth. It means that this is our black experience in America. Nowhere you go does that experience change.
No.
So to have your whole value system set in achieving this, which you are a contagion to, you will never reap the goal.
How about this piece? Even when you show up with that thing, right? So I live here, you move in. Theoretically, we're in the same tax bracket, right? Theoretically, you have just about what I have. But still, that ain't good enough for your ass to be around here. Get the fuck from away from here, right? River Oaks used to bust. Niggas will take hundreds of thousands of dollars to that motherfucker on a daily basis. Black people. And spend money in that motherfucker. Doesn't matter. That shit still fell apart. Now you go there, it's a fucking ghost town. Same thing with Evergreen Plaza. Once it became Ever Black Plaza, shut that shit down. I don't give a fuck how many leather coats and jackets y'all wearing here. Shut it down. It's not going to work. Like we don't want it here. It ain't gonna work for us. Get it the fuck out of here. Like that becomes the real conversation with that whole piece at that time. Like that's really what it is. And so, you know, it don't matter even if you come prepared. The fact that you're here with it means it ain't working. We devalue that shit, right? There was a video the other day, I guess I saw this yesterday, where the white lady walked up to this man's front door, pretty much, telling him he got to move his dog. Like, you can't bring your dog out here. Told that man, you're acting black in a white neighborhood, and you need to act more white. You seen that shit? Crazy.
Nah, I haven't seen that shit. But again, right now it says, you know, Adrian says you got to go to Tinley Park now. Flossmoor is still nice, but it doesn't hold the same value that it did decades ago. What I'm saying is that community, that white community can come build wealth anywhere they want to, right? And we will flock to that community. And once we are inundated and anchored into that community, they will go away. And so will those investments. And we will be left holding the bag. It's like shit flows downhill. We always seem to end up at the bottom of that pile. Right? So it's just like we talked about Inglewood right now, right? Yeah, the price of Inglewood is low as shit. And if you black and you got a couple dollars, you could go buy Inglewood. You could. Right? But one, and what I'm trying to explain to us is that one, we don't have wealth in mass. So what you're going to get is you're going to get a few black developers going to buy places in Inglewood. There's going to be a very small percentage of black people that eat off Inglewood. It is. But Inglewood won't become valuable again as a landing spot for anybody until those white investors fully buy this shit up and make it viable again for us to think it's valuable, which is a shift in what? Perspective.
Yeah.
It's a shift in perspective. We got to stop aspiring to be part of that perspective, that group. Why couldn't Inglewood have been valuable 20 years ago when I was coming up in Inglewood? Why didn't we have that same aspiration or admiration for Inglewood then than when they renew it, or that same aspiration or understanding of Inglewood or Roseland or any of those communities for that matter once the white folks or the new investors come? Because the new investors can only be white folks because that's where all of the wealth is. We just got to change our perspective. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you 100%. That's absolutely what needs to happen. We need to take a break. When we come back from this break, I want to ask you about Master P, man. I want to ask you about what you think his legacy is in relationship to that of, say, maybe a Jay-Z, in relationship to that of maybe a Jeff Bezos, in terms of the black perspective of that. This is I Said What I Said. His name is Toussaint Werner. My name is Herb Howard. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into that conversation and so much more. Thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Truly, truly appreciate all of you all and your perspective. We're going to continue to read through your comments and more on the other side of this break. We will be right back.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Tune in every Sunday. Don't miss it. Live from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios. It is the Kickoff Kickback. Join the conversation with the brothers Eugene McIntosh, Herb Howard, and myself, Terrence Tomlin.
We got analysis live from the stadium. The brother Joe Lewis will be following through. We got great guests coming in, players, personnel, people.
Say what? We do our thing every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, taking you right up to kickoff.
We picking the full slate of NFL games. We talking fantasy football. Gino got you covered on all the bets. It's a kickback.
Make sure y'all join the conversation. Smash that like button. Smash that share button. And continue to help us push the culture forward.
Don't miss it every Sunday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, live here from the West Center for the Black People Media Studios.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this is a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money.
They need to put me on the next What's in it for the Black People Media track, bro. What do you think?
Do your thing, fam. You got bars. Oh, you was gonna R&B it out. Okay, Sassy Dex.
Bro.
Oh, okay.
Me.
Do your thing.
I'm dead.
I'm a singer, bro. Y'all be hating on me for real, for no reason at all. I am a vocalist of the highest order.
Mm-hmm. Praise to be to Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus. Thanks for the support, brother. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is I Said What I Said. My name is Herb Howard. I'm a vocalist. His name is Toussaint Werner. He is a hater. Ron Rilla behind the glass doing all of the hard work. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the conversation too. I want to find out what you think about Master P, man. Make him say the legendary leader of the Soldiers, man. No Limit, bro. C Murder, Silk the Shocker, who in my opinion is the worst mainstream rapper of all time. Silk the Shocker. Give me somebody worse than Silk the Shocker. Silk the Shocker.
That's a bunch of people worse than Silk the Shocker.
No, there are. He used to talk on the track. He just talk on the track.
And he was horrible.
I'm trying to live ghetto fast and take a pass with bottle of Davi.
This won't stand up.
Yeah,
this new camera is having a heart attack in this studio.
It's not rocking with me. I'm not rocking with it.
Yeah, it keeps passing out.
Whatever. Silk the Shocker's the worst ever, bro.
I got a few views on P though. I ain't gonna lie though. I think from a business perspective and betting on yourself perspective, I respect it. Right? You gotta respect it. You know what I mean?
Time out. We're not gonna gloss past this right here. We are not gonna just let this ride right here. Big Red coming here with a wife beater on, 17 brands up and down his arm. I didn't even know you had that many brands, Big Red.
How we do, Sigma Man. You know what I'm saying?
Put your shirt on, man.
They get branded like slaves. That's what Sigma men do.
Add this to the agenda for tonight's meeting. Put your shirt on in the studio. Sorry, man. I couldn't let that slide.
Yeah, it was too much for me. But y'all got two perspectives, G. From a business standpoint, betting on yourself, winning in the game, I get it. I salute it. Right?
Yeah.
From an artist perspective, oh, fuck, you destroyed a whole goddamn genre of music.
Come on, man. Everything he put out was fire, first of all. I'm talking about the movies. I got the hookup was cinematic
hood class
gold.
Yeah, no.
All of amazing acting.
I got the hookup. Guy, G. I don't praise ignorance, G. I can't get behind it because it won. That don't make it good to me. It's still fucking ignorant.
No, I got the hookup was the worst acting ever.
It just wasn't even the worst. So it's not even.
But make him say, time out. First of all, Cash Money or No Limit.
Cash Money or No Limit label. As a label, I'm gonna go Cash Money because Cash Money actually puts out some music that I fuck with.
Yeah, I think they had better. I think they had better talent.
Better artists.
I liked Master P, not a good rapper,
but I'm an artist, right?
Who was a good rapper on No Limit?
By essence, my nature, I'm an artist.
You are,
right? So I value the art.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Mm-hmm. P is a businessman. This is left brain, right brain conversation, right?
True.
The motherfucking left brain and the right brain ain't gonna never be on the same accord. They're just not, right? So the artist always wants to push the genre, explore more, try to do more. The businessman wants to go with what works.
I mean, what can I get out of it as it is?
What can I get out of it? What works, right? Yeah. And when you start to thinking about what works and you want to feed the populace, then you must always dumb down. You must always dumb down because the masses are always going to be.
But it worked.
It's going to be more dumb people than
he made millions of people say and then nah.
Whatever. It was
make
dumb
them
as
say,
shit.
Make them say nah.
That was popular when I was in college. Me and my roommate used to fight over who was going because he loved that ignorant shit. And we'd be fighting over. I'm not listening to this dumbass shit.
Now me and my homie like that too. He's real J Electronica, Kendrick, J Cole, that kind of level. And I'm for that at a certain time. But he wants that to be going down at 10 o'clock when we 5 shots in, bro. If you don't put some Jeezy on here, I can't listen to J Electronica when I'm drunk at 11 o'clock at night. Put J Electronica on at 11 o'clock in the morning. Let me get in the right mind space for the day. Let me vibe through the afternoon like that.
Some shit I just can't take, right?
Yeah.
But I'm usually fluid and flexible. I can deal with some shit. You know what I mean? But even that, right? I got a cousin that's a producer for Ye right now, right? Mm-hmm. And he always used to laugh at me because of my musical taste. Like they could span the gamut. And he was like, "There's not many people like that, right? There's not a dude that's gonna be playing P and Common in the same day. They usually don't go together like that." And I think therein lies the problem with our community in most instances, right? It's like you got to pick this team, and in my mind, you got to be fluid, But in regards to like business, yeah, P made an impact, man. He did some amazing things. He shifted the conversation between slavery and ownership in a lot of ways in regards to music,
right?
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
you got
saying.
to salute that. But in regards to the actual art, man, oh my God, I can't take that shit.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mystical. Maybe his biggest song. He comes right on the song. What's the first line in this fucking verse?
I don't know.
I came in with my dick in my hand.
And Mystical is probably the best rapper in the group.
That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Gene. He just said Fiend could spit too.
So Fiend, me and Fiend got in a fight one time. I was in New Orleans. I didn't know who the fuck he was, G, but I was finna put it. It was getting reckless. Motherfucker was like, you know who that is? It was like, fuck who that is.
Nigga know who I am. Nah, I like them, man. I like kind of just how they represented, how they just kind of mobbed through the game like that, right? They took on this persona of this No Limit Soldiers, and that was their whole thing. And they had real gangsters. You talking about, like the real niggas that was having, like, he wasn't the frontline guys of the label, but they was backed by some real street niggas, right? And so I kind of like the way they moved. I like the way Cash Money moved too, right? It was this whole persona. It was this bling bling shit. Everything was about diamonds and cars and all this type of shit. Now, Baby was jerking all of them niggas, right? Which is unfortunate. But when you 16, you 17, you BG, you Turk, you Wayne. Okay, yeah, I'm coming to the studio. I'm gonna hang out with this rich ass nigga all day. Okay, he threw me 5 bands and said I'm Cash Money now. I don't really know he's making millions off of me, right? He put a chain around my neck. He threw me a keys to the car. The car ain't mine, but I'm driving it. You know what I'm saying? This crib ain't mine. I'm living in it. We having chicks come through. My life is good, right? I was in the projects 2 months ago. Now I'm in these mansions. I'm driving these cars. Got these diamonds on. None of this shit mine, but it's better than I was doing before. So I ain't worried about the paperwork. I'm getting jerked. I am getting jerked.
But
right?
that's us in a nutshell, though, right? We aspire to the lifestyle, right? So even when you start looking at the entire landscape of rap music today, it's lifestyle, right? They can't sell records if they don't have an Instagram imprint. If they don't have a social media imprint, that's not about music. That's about you got to be able to sell your lifestyle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and that's what we aspire to. Gene is on here now because Gene was down in Southern when P was coming out.
That's what he's saying
and
now.
He was like, man, I was in Baton Rouge when P was forming No Limit. He came through the campus throwing out money essentially out the sunroof of 2 back-to-back Lexus Land Cruisers, and he said he got back to the crib and next thing you know, people was bumping Ice Cream Man, right? Because that's what we aspire to. It looks like wealth. As long as it looks like wealth, we consider that shit to be good.
Our man, Dr. Willie Wilson, right? Love him, right? Do a lot for the community. He said, "What's the best way for me to get them up attention? I'm gonna go hand out dubs."
That's what it do. Because that's God.
Yeah,
this motherfucker just gave me God.
Yeah, put it right in my pocket.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm riding with him. That's the team I'm rolling with.
That's all it takes.
And that shit works.
And it goes back to the statement that Muhammad Ali said a long time ago, right? When I think it was Howard Cosell was like, you talk all this black empowerment shit, but you drive a Rolls Royce. And Ali said, no, man, I drive 2. Because if I ain't had these motherfuckers, they wouldn't listen to me.
Be
right?
clear.
But what's that really say? Is that they don't value the shit that I'm talking
That
about.
ain't me.
But they value is what I'm riding in. They
Right.
value the materialism of what I look like.
Right. They're gonna listen to me because of that.
But what made what made Muhammad Ali eternal though? What made him great? Right? He whooped a whole lot of ass. But what made him one of the greatest athletes, and in my opinion, the absolute greatest athlete,
uncompromising
was his uncompromising stance on his beliefs. It had shit to do with the fights he won or lost, or the money he amassed during that time period. It was his uncompromising belief to stand down in the shit that he believed in. That's what makes him the greatest athlete of all time.
For sure. Elemi will say Jay Jerkin, the Locks, when they came off Bad Boy, their first album, they had them skits on there, that Jay Jerkin shit. It was basically talking about how Puff was jerking them when they was at Bad Boy. He's like, man, can I get the keys? Can I get the Range Rover? He's like, no, we're gonna get you the key. We're gonna get you the key, but we're gonna put rims on it. You all good. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what was happening, right?
Shout out to D. That's my brother D.
Oh, what's
so
up?
Adrian Anderson says this rapper conversation, just like sports, it just move when I'm.
Adrian don't ever like to hear about
Just like sports make me say, basically she ain't interested.
Yeah, she ready.
But in a lot of ways, sports and music is a microcosm of black life.
100%
It's a microcosm of black values too, because what you see front and center displayed is what we value. They show it, right? And all of our aspirations, specifically because our aspirations are wrapped in wealth, and that is one of the main 2 spaces, that is probably the only 2 spaces that wealth is amassed in our community, and we all aspire to that shit. It's a microcosm of who and what we think we are.
And how we would be in mass with it, right? Generally speaking, right? You take somebody like Chad Johnson, one of the best receivers ever in my personal opinion. Like, man, I've been fronting ever since I had money. They asking me, like, you legendarily are frugal with your money. A lot of people call you cheap. He's like, man, I've always been like that. He's like, even when I had it, he was like, because dude was like, what's the transition been like from making those NFL checks and now those NFL checks not coming in? He's like, for me, it wasn't that hard of a transition because I was always cheap. Because I always wore fake jewelry. He's like, everything you ever seen, all my jewelry, all them diamonds, he was like, they was all cubic zirconia. Like, none of that shit was real. And he was like, because people assumed it was real. It didn't need to be real. People knew I had bread, so nobody was gonna question, oh, is Chad Johnson's fame fake? I mean, is his chain fake? Like, nah, it's real, right? And so, but us on the other end, we wanted everybody to believe that shit. So that's the first thing we're gonna do. Before anything else, let me look like something. And we do that from the lowest levels to the highest levels.
But
for
that's
no
how,
fucking reason.
That's the design of America. That ain't black people. That's all of us, right? That's
100%.
what America works. That's how it works. It's an illusion.
But when you already accepted in the game like that, you can be around rich ass white folks, and they got on fucking t-shirt and holy jeans and busted ass gym shoes.
Because they got.
You see your partner with busted gym shoes, you're like, man, what's wrong with your gym shoes, bro?
But they got a different, because they have a different understanding of wealth. They have a different understanding of the illusion, right? It's a difference between the motherfucker who's making the illusion and the motherfucker who's living the illusion. You understand what I'm saying? It's a difference, right? You see me draw some shit and you're like, oh, that's raw. But I'm gonna throw this shit away as soon as I finish. Because I made this, it's not valued at the same way when I know what the real goal is. You know what I mean? So someone just chimed in And I wanted to address this earlier when I addressed the Barack Obama bullshit book, The Promised Land. There's a portion in that book where apparently he's talking about black men voting for Trump, right? And he blames it on, or he compares it to
say rap man made him. I mean, rap music made black men.
Right? He's like, Trump represents like the bling and gaudiness of rap music. And I think that's interesting because this goes back to the illusion shit, right?
Yep.
And how false
Yep.
and how we play this goddamn game.
Yep.
Because if it wasn't for rappers, we probably wouldn't have Obama as a president. And I say this in all essence. Like, think about his presidency. There was all the black people that he invited, and I ain't gonna say all, but there was a large contingency of rappers that he invited to the White House.
Yeah.
He validated these rappers as black leadership in a lot of ways, right? He leveraged black music, he leveraged black celebrity and rap music to endure us to his campaign. There's a viral video of him doing this shit, brushing his shoulders off, which is the older Jay-Z. He has a Jay-Z commercial attached to his goddamn campaign. But then on one hand, when he's running, and this is just how people use us. They put us on like breakaway fucking basketball pants. You understand me? So his Kenyan white ass leverages our culture to prepare himself and his campaign to the front of the conversation. And when the shit plays out in opposite of that, he shuns it and shits on it. Oh, these black people are voting for Trump because they admire this rap lifestyle. Man, your ass,
bro. They playing the game of politics, bro.
They are, but we got to stop allowing ourselves to be played by it.
I agree with that. 100%, I agree with that. But I'm saying I don't expect him to do nothing else. And to a certain degree, he's fucking right. Right? How many times have you heard Donald Trump's song, image, likeness, or brand mentioned in rap songs? Jay-Z, who's my favorite rapper,
it's like 400
Jay-Z, who's my favorite rapper of all
Trump.
time, has put his name in at least 4 or 5 verses that I can remember off the top of my head. Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I got a room at the Trump I only slept in once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm at the Trump International, ask for me. I'm everywhere. You ain't never there. You know what I'm saying? Like they put
it's over 400 references to Trump in rap songs.
You know what I'm saying?
Them same motherfuckers is like fuck Trump today. Right? But again, even when and this is how far we are away from truth. Right? Even when they was mentioning Trump in their rap songs, Trump didn't have no fucking money.
No, but it was
right.
The image though, the perception was that he did.
Right? And that's what I mean about us and our confusion. We are caught up in the illusion instead of the truth. There's data that exists around all these conversations. Data. You can look this shit up. Matter of fact, you ain't even gotta look this shit up. You black, you live in the neighborhood. God damn it, open your eyes and look around.
That part.
It ain't there.
That part.
It ain't there.
That part.
So when we start to have these conversations about black wealth and shit, what you think is the wealthiest black community in Chicago?
I know the answer, but I wouldn't assume that's what it is.
What is the answer?
Chatham.
Chatham is the wealthiest black community in Chicago?
Historically, that's where all the money came from.
So
that's where we had businesses and homes.
I'm gonna give you some game.
Put me on.
I don't know what the wealthiest black community is in Chicago right now, but the wealthiest all black community in America, when I was a child, was West Chesterfield. You know what West Chesterfield is?
It's that little pocket in between what you would call Roseland and
Chatham. That little pocket. Yeah. You know who lived in that little pocket?
You.
Me. and this is factual information.
I know.
The wealthiest all black community of America was West Chesterfield. You understand me? Let me tell you who lived next door to me in West Chesterfield. The dope fiend. There was a dope house next door to me. On the other side, it was a whole house. You understand?
Yeah.
Some of the winters, I ain't had motherfucking heat. Right?
But it was balanced by what?
But it was balanced by John Johnson. It was balanced by the brother, the Herb and Tou, Vernon Jarrett. It was also balanced by, and there was one other dude, I can't think of this other businessman's name. But it was those 3 people. And now it's a play on words because it's the wealthiest all black community.
Right.
In America,
right?
Wasn't no white folks there, wasn't nothing but black people there,
right?
But that was the wealthiest community in all America. And I thought about that shit, and I know that the vast majority of my friends didn't have no money. I know there was roaches in their cribs. I know it was motherfuckers struggling to make it. I know it was motherfuckers living off welfare. I just told a story last week about going into the Tigers Lounge because my best friend's mama couldn't afford childcare. And she was a goddamn barmaid at the Tigers Lounge. This is the motherfucker that lived across the street from me.
Right.
We were all suffering against the wall of poverty.
Right.
Inexplicably, we didn't understand that. But when you start looking at it in context and you say, this is the best we got.
Right.
We didn't have to look further than outside your front door, G.
It's right there in front of you. Open your eyes and see it. We got to take our last break. When we come back, we will put a bow on this conversation for the day, and we will set the stage for Chicago famous Mike Love and Diz coming up next from 3 till 6. This is I Said What I Said. Herb and Tou will be right back.
WISTVPM.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Greek events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Greek members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
And we are back from the ever-changing What's in It for the Black People Media Studios. My name is Herb Howard. I am one half of I Said What I Said. Thank y'all so much for being a part of the conversation. We truly, truly appreciate every single one, y'all. Yo, let me ask you a question.
What am?
Are you at all interested in the versus battle tomorrow? Jeezy versus Gucci?
Jeezy and Gucci?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Damn. Ron, know you is. Damn. Just me?
What?
I guess I'm kind of like right in the middle of y'all. And that Jeezy and Gucci shit was popping when I was not coming of age, but like late teens into my like 20s and early 20s, like that was busting. Jeezy and Gucci.
I think I just get irritated too easily nowadays. I'm getting old, man. They talk about it too much on my timelines.
Oh well, yeah. I mean,
they talking about it like it's important.
Yes,
a lot of people is charged about this, bro. You tweaking.
I'm a millennial, so my timeline's full of millennials.
Let me ask y'all this though, because I know a little bit of the history of Jeezy and Gucci. Yeah. Is it important about their music, or is it important about their problems with each other?
It's the problems. The beef is what makes it so marketable, right? Because I was more excited when it was supposed to be Jeezy and T.I.
Yeah, because
I like both of them.
All they talking about is, man, I wonder is Gucci gonna play the diss record? Is Jeezy gonna play the diss? That's all they talking about. I really
they got real issues. They got like real shit where people have died behind their shit.
This is where I get into the pre-conversation about diluting.
I doubt this one's gonna be in the same room like the last few have been.
But this is about
that's the whole conversation.
This is the same thing. It's diluting the art, right? Mm-hmm. We get trapped in the ignorance and sell the ignorance. It's the same shit that's selling Lil Von and King Dirk and all them shit.
Yeah.
Right out from 63rd, not 64. But the vast majority of them people who buying this shit ain't from 63rd or 64.
Couldn't find it on the map.
Right? But they egg this shit on, and because the shorties are becoming successful out of it, because we value success, what do? They invest deeper and deeper into killing more people on the other side. Because it now validates their presence in the space. Man. And then we on the outside looking in at this shit and saying, what's wrong with us? What's wrong with us is that we're supporting Gucci and Jeezy, not because of what they produce artistically, but because of the ignorance that they purvey. And then we wonder what the fuck is wrong with us. Man, you can't keep eating McDonald's and think you're going to be fucking healthy, fam.
Because I just saw a video on Facebook yesterday, King Von's daughter. Mm-hmm. Singing his song, the I'm not from 64.
Of course. And Daddy's biggest song.
Yeah, and Daddy, she's singing the song, all the lyrics, I shoot you down, she blow, I blow. She's singing all the lyrics. And all of the fans are under there. I know that's right, girl. Sing your daddy's song. You look so cute. Like she's singing, she's talking about killing niggas.
Yeah, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
make your daddy proud.
It's like that, right?
Listen, man.
But again, is the art imitating the culture, or is the culture being influenced by the art? I think art is imitating what's already happening out here, and I think artists are going to tell their stories as authentically as they can.
I think artists been using that for a long time. That's starting to wear off. That's starting to wear out.
How is the environment changing?
So what is an artist at his core?
If the environment ain't changing, they still telling their truth.
But listen to what I'm saying. What is an artist at his core? An artist at his core is what? But a creator.
A creative, right?
Right. And if you're a creator, then what the fuck are you mimicking any story for? You can create whatever vision you want to create.
No, you create poetry out of your truth.
And that is the limitation. That is the same limitation that I see in our lives.
What is Gucci? What is King Von supposed to rap about? He supposed to rap about college?
He
supposed to rap about church and community?
He can explore the limits of his imagination.
That's what art is for.
That's what art is.
You can't imagine what you ain't seen though. What you don't know about.
That's exactly what imagination is.
No, it's not,
You think a motherfucker saw a plane before he built the plane? No, wasn't shit in the air. He had to imagine the idea. It doesn't work in reverse.
Nah. What I'm saying is, you talking about painting the picture in a story, right? You have to be aware of this thing first, and then you can paint that picture. I can't paint shit about something.
You must be an artist too. You're an artist too.
Yeah, you think Thomas Edison talked to a motherfucker on the phone, then said, "I'm gonna make a phone"?
That's another joke too.
It's not a joke.
No. Whose joke is it though?
It is a joke. I want to talk to a motherfucker who ain't even here.
Right.
But that's the whole context, right? They say that the human mind, we only use about 3% of our human of the brain,
power of the brain,
right? They said we use 5%. We could legitimately walk on water, like legitimately. It wouldn't even be a question.
Yeah.
Right. We don't go beyond the realms of what we see because we're not trying to explore the art. We're just mimicking ignorance because the art isn't what's valuable. It's the dollars that is attached to the art.
I see what you're saying on that piece. I just don't like the idea of saying that these artists are at fault for telling these stories when I think these stories are at fault for like creating the artists that we like.
That's just like saying it's our fault that we in that environment. Like it ain't our fault we was raised in the ghetto.
Right. So what story do you want them to tell?
But listen, here's my question though. Here's my question. Even if it is a reflection of your environment, right? We don't even explore the depths of our environment to understand the conversation. Right? So we're not even creating new stories. We're just mimicking the same story. Right? How many young King Vons are there? Just on 63rd and 64.
And we're not saying you can't say that. You can't talk about that story. There's different ways you could tell that same story. You don't have to tell it the same way you saw it or experienced. You can tell it another way. Tell us a way somebody will.
That's what I mean. So you got 99 King Vons on one block. Mm-hmm. Which one of those cats are artists? Or are they all mimicking ideas because their goal is success and not creating art? You understand?
Yes.
Which one is which?
Yes.
Right? So even if it was just I'm gonna be a storyteller about the community in which I'm in, you got to learn about you got to do research, you got to invest. You're not vested, right? I know more about the streets and this ain't no bullshit. I know more about the streets than most of these dudes talking about they street rappers. I can hear it in the shit they talk about. You ain't been where I been in the streets, little nigga.
Right.
You ain't been there. I saw an interview with this little dude the other day talking about, I ain't gonna say his name, but he was one of them little dudes over there. And he talking about, I'm an official gang banger. And they was like, well, how'd you get in the gang? And he was like, well, do you know your lit? And he's like, yeah, I Googled it. The fuck?
Right.
And he's validated in their system.
It's different.
It ain't different.
It is different because that wasn't acceptable before. That's different.
It is different in the sense that we've moved away from tradition. We've moved away from history. We've moved away from the essence. And it's become something different. But that something different is just a replica of the illusion. It's the goddamn Truman Show. Right? It's like I say, you keep pouring cream in coffee, you don't get coffee no more. Right? One of the things that being black is, this is the truth. Right? If we are the essence of humans, we are the essence of mankind, and we are the sum of all that comes before us, then everything that this universe engulfs is within us.
Sure.
That's what gives.
So all you gotta do is explore what's in you to come up with something different than what these motherfuckers is mimicking.
Because that's the same
art
excuse
that we value.
That's the same excuse the white rappers say, like I'm just rapping about what I saw.
No,
but you
they're
saw
bullshitting. I'm talking about somebody who grew up in it. I'm not talking about.
A lot of them can be bullshitting too, because there's a lot of niggas who grew up in the hood who just saw this shit and really wasn't a part of it. It's niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but to see something from 64th and King Drive, even if you happen to have a curfew, even if you go to school, then you go to basketball practice, and you bring your ass in the crib, and you don't come back outside, you go to school again the next morning. You still have a different perspective than say fucking Machine Gun Kelly or somebody like that popping off about some hood shit.
Imagine a white boy sitting in front of his computer screen for that same X amount of time that they be outside, they feel like they're in it.
You can feel how the fuck you want to feel. When I watch Heat, I really think that Robert De Niro is a bank robber and he'll shoot shit up. Them bullets ain't real. Okay, Shorty who go to school and then come back home, them bullets that's flying past his window, them shit's real, right? So you can feel however you want behind your computer screen. Walk your ass down 64th and King Drive and tell me you feel the same way. It's a difference. That motherfucker will sit behind the computer all day and feels as immersed in the culture as anyone else. White motherfucker in the middle America. Yeah, I know everything about this. What's going on O Block? Walk your ass down O Block and tell me it's the same feeling that you get be sitting behind your computer.
You can't, but that's the point I'm trying to make. Now any artist can make that excuse, like, man, it's what I've experienced or it's what I know. It's because you know it because you researched it. So it's the environment I'm just rapping about what I come from.
But when you talk about Vaughn or Duck, you talking about motherfuckers who get their notoriety and they fame because their shit is validated. Motherfuckers know they over there. Sure, it's a bunch of Fugazi motherfuckers, but the moment you expose this Fugazi, that's a short ride for you.
But what's Fugazi? And that's kind of the question I want to get at. What's false, right? We're not exploring any of these environments. We're not even exploring the art form in which we're vested in, right? So even the young boy said, I Googled my literature, right? He's surely not vested in the history of that game.
Bullshit. Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Shit. But in his conversation, and whoever he is, he must be somebody in that world. He's validated and certified.
Which is bullshit because in my era, like a motherfucker, if they was validated and above you, they had every right to come up and check you and spit some lit.
But that's
you
the
don't
point
know your 6 principles.
Listen,
what you finna have is your ass whooped.
But that's the point I'm making, though, right? He's not even vested in the shit that he's saying he is, but he's selling this shit to a world of people who's not vested. Right?
Yeah, nobody cares.
But even still though, you said if it's a mimicking of a culture, what culture are you mimicking? Because you're creating shit on the fly.
Yeah.
Right? Which in some ways is creative. But they're creating shit on the fly with the limitations of the block being the fucking goal, which shortens the lifespan of the art form. It devalues the art form itself. Right? Art is a way to imagine realities beyond what's your circumstances.
Art is expandable.
You understand? So if you're stuck here, you're not an artist, you're a performer. There's a difference.
No, a lot of motherfuckers are performing, right? And I'm not taking away from that. I think that probably 99% of these motherfuckers in the rap game are fucking storytellers. They're lying. They're bullshitting, right?
And you should be a storyteller, but just create better stories. That's all.
I don't disagree with you, too. But here's your story that sells. Shoot that nigga. Right. Shake your ass.
And black poverty is always sold. Black deprivation is always sold.
Black death.
Black prostitution. Black death. All these ills have always sold.
Cash cows.
Right?
Of America.
And we have to be honest. Right? Those messaging and images have influence. Right? So if selling is the goal and one of the best products you can create is black death, then shut the fuck up about complaining about black oppression. Because this is obviously what we aspire to.
100%.
I can't go with that though. I can't support that.
That's a problem. I'm not saying it's not a problem, too. I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying I'm okay with it. I'm simply saying I can understand it. I see the natural projection thereof.
But see, that's why I say this is what
I'm not saying it's okay.
But this is what
just because I understand it doesn't mean I agree with it. Or I accept it as being cool.
This is where we differ though. Who's excited about Gucci and
me, motherfucker?
Then you support it.
I didn't say that I don't. I never sit behind this microphone act like I'm pursed up here, like I'm not the nigga I am.
I ain't either.
Right? Okay, so I like fucking Jeezy.
So you support it?
Yes, I banged his shit as soon as it came out. Thug Motivation 101 is a fucking Bible to me. You know what I'm saying? Every time I do it for my hood.
Hey.
Banging that shit every single time. Standing ovation. Banging that shit every single time it comes on. Tomorrow when that shit comes on, I'm going to be front and center watching the fuck out of it. I hope she's come out with a snowman t-shirt. I hope Gucci come out with a big ass ice cream cone in his fucking face and a fat ass belly and a dumb ass Bart Simpson chain. I'm trying to see that kind of shit tomorrow.
I hope we don't do that.
You know what I'm saying?
I hope we don't do
like fuck, like I'm trying to tell you the fucking truth. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this dope. I'm telling you.
We all in the midst of this, right?
And I want to see that shit tomorrow.
So we all in the midst.
I want to hear that shit.
We all in the midst of this. You don't got kids. I got kids.
Right.
Right. What you think works more on my children? Doing as I say or doing as I do?
As you do.
Right.
They gonna watch you and imitate the shit.
They gonna imitate the shit. It is what it is. So how many? Now I'm a generation older than you, right? And this is my generation to blame. We ain't getting out there. We still going. Wait.
Evict us.
Evict us.
We Donald Trump in this bitch.
We taking over the airways.
This is the Oval.
We ain't never leaving.
This is the Oval.
All right, y'all, let's get out of here.
Look at Ron. Oh, Ron on scary ass.
So shook a Big Red. All right, y'all, let's get out of here.
Okay, Big Red said it's time to go.
Hey.
Ron obviously Googled his lit.
Hey, boss. Master said we got to go.
I'm trying to get to Woodline. We ain't got another show now.
Well, let's get over to the Woodline, man. I'm ready to go hop on. We can sit on the rooftop.
Okay,
we can get out there, hop on the igloo.
I mean,
y'all need to get over to the Woodline. It is located at 1200 East 79th Street. Y'all get over to the Woodline. Make sure y'all check out their jerk-inspired venue. Make their reservations for their igloo dining experience. We got to get out of here because we got to go. Hey, Ron, meet us outside, bro. We've been threatening to fuck you up for a while.
Ron's ass. He Googled his lip. We beating Ron's ass today.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, don't put that out there.
No.
Not Google his lip.
No. I told you before about The Wire, man. There's a scene on The Wire where dude is following Stringer Bell around. String say, "Stop following me." He say, "Man, Tall Man told me to stick to you." He said, "Tall Man gonna be there when I stump on your fucking head." Is Big Red gonna be there when me and Two take you downstairs in a minute? No, he's not. Big Red gonna stay up here and keep running the studio. We gotta get out of here. This has been I Say What I Said. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Shout out to scary ass Ron behind the glass doing all the hard work. For Two Sound Warner, my name is Herb Power. We will see y'all right back here Friday at 1 p.m. Until then, y'all be good to each other. Peace.
WISTBPM.